All right, we're on the home stretch now. There's only two more modules. So we are now in module 12, and the course is going to wrap up in module 13. So we're almost done. What we're going to be talking about today is really getting this idea of why we cooperate as societies. So you might think, well, it makes the most sense if I try to get ahead by taking advantage of my neighbors or by cheating the system, stealing, that sort of thing. You have to remember in the EA, small communities, everyone would know if you did something because word would be spread around via gossip. And it also makes sense that cooperation tends to get us the most ahead in the long run. Absolutely short-term strategy, it's the best to say defect in the game of prisoner's dilemma. But in the long term, cooperation is actually the most beneficial. And I've actually included some simulations in this module so that you can begin to understand that in a more tangible way. So you're going to be reading about things like the Robbers Cave experiment in the module notes by Sharif. And that's a really important study because it basically showed us that the way we accept people into our group, or say our in-group, and the way that we create others, an out-group, is really quite arbitrary. And so I want you to be very careful in your reading about that in the module notes. So chapter 14 in itself is really getting at sociality and understanding how, say, suicide might be viewed from an evolutionary perspective, which again is really intriguing because suicide is the end of your genetic line. So you might be thinking, wow, how would you ever explain suicide? But there has been an attempt, and that attempt was actually made by Dr. Dennis de Catanzaro at McMaster University in Hamilton. And Dennis was actually my master's supervisor. So I was there at the tail end of that work. He had just published it and was still doing some research on the side about it. And the data came in the form of punch cards. So that's telling you how much effort was involved in doing some of the statistics. It wasn't just simply put into a computer, it was programs on punch cards. So some interesting memories down to think about there. All right, so that's all I'm going to say for this module. And remember, you're almost done. All right, take care.